Hey people, today I'm going to be teaching you how to RNG manipulate wild Pokemon in Heart Gold or Soul Silver. You could use this to get whatever IVs you want. You could use this to get shinies if you know your secret ID. It is a very versatile way in order to get a Pokemon. Today I'm just going to show you how to manip a quick shiny. So there's going to be a few things that you're going to need both in and out of the game. Now, in-game is what I'm going to cover first. So you're going to want to make sure that you have at least one chat out with a recorded chatter. Everyone asks, how do you get a recorded chatter? Basically, the DS has a microphone built into it, and all you have to do is make sure your chatot knows the move chatter. Then you could select it like a field move like fly or something like that, and then hit A. It will ask you to do a recording, or it will ask you to forget the saying it knows. That's fine. Hit yes. And then when it tells you to hit A, you hit A and you say something into the microphone. So I'm going to press the next button and then hit into the microphone. So now chatot, as you could hear, made a little noise. So now that chatot has a recorded chatter. And all chatots will have a recorded chatter if you want to take a listen. You could hear that their pitch shifts with the current RNG state. So that is how we're going to be advancing our seed and keeping track of it. You're also going to want a Pokemon with Sweet Scent. I've got this Oddish here. Then I would, of course, suggest a way to catch the Pokemon. So I've got, a few different Pokeballs, the Master Ball, etc., etc. You just want to make sure that you can catch the Pokemon with reasonable efficiency. Then you're also going to need a few things in the Poke Gear. You're going to want to make sure you have your roamers' locations known as you save. So if you're in a stationary spot and you're going to save the game, record where the roamers are going to be. We're going to leave it on the screen in a moment, but I have all three of my roamers out. Having each roamer out advances the RNG a little bit. And then we're going to take a look in the phone where we want to make sure that we have Juggler Irwin registered. Juggler Irwin will be able to both help us find our current initial seed, make sure we hit the proper one, and do some extra advances. That should be everything you're going to need on the in-game side, and kind of adjacent to the in-game side is you're going to need to know your secret ID. Now, if you don't know how to do this, I've got tutorials on how to RNG manipulate your trainer ID and your secret ID, but I will also have videos soon about how to find your secret ID if you don't want to restart your save. But right now, if you want a shiny, you need to know your secret ID. Okay, that's everything for in-game. We're going to move to out-of-game now. So you're going to need two programs. You're going to need both Eon Timer and you're going to need PokeFinder. We'll start with Eon Timer. So in Eon Timer, you're going to want to click the Gen 4 tab. You're also going to want to set the calibrated delay to 486, and the rest of the stuff leave alone. Calibrated second will always be 14. Target delay and target second, we are going to be able to adjust those later. You're also going to want to click the settings cog here and go to the timer tab. Make sure the console is set to NDS because that is the proper frame rate for this, and then hit OK. So with Eon Timer done, we're going to take a look at PokeFinder. Now in PokeFinder, you're going to want to click the Gen 4 tab and then click the Wild button. Now in here, you're going to make sure that you've got a profile set up. I've got my profile PKtopia here, but if you don't have one, you can click the manager and then insert your own profile, but make sure that it's there. Now, if you don't know where a wild Pokemon is, PokeFinder actually has this really neat feature. In the tools dropdown, there is an encounter lookup section. You can click that. And then you could type in whatever Pokemon you want for whatever game is supported. So I'll click Heart Gold, and then I will do Ditto. I'm going to go for a shiny Ditto and click Find. And it will tell you exactly where Ditto is available. I'm on Route 47, and so that is where Ditto is. But if you didn't know, you could use this to help quickly find instead of going around on Cerebi or Bulbapedia or something else like that. It's all right in here. Okay, so now we're going to click Wild, and we're going to go to the Searcher section. We're going to select Method K because that is what we are doing. Then we're going to select Route 47 because that is the one we were on. And then we are going to select Ditto. All right. So with the Pokemon that we want selected, the time of day, it can matter because that could change what spawns are available. But Ditto in this instance in particular is always going to be basically the same encounter slots. And the PokeFinder will automatically adjust based on what time of day you are aiming for. So we're going to go for Ditto. Encounter is grass. That is what Ditto is. But again, whatever you're aiming for could be different. Lead. I'm not going to use any lead, but this is stuff like Synchronize if you want a specific nature Ditto. Cute Charm for the Cute Charm glitch stuff. Compound Eyes. or none. So I'm going to be going for none. If you don't want any lead, if you're not using a specific lead, select none here. Min delay and max delay. This is how long you're willing to wait at the front of the title screen where you are picking your save file. And min advance and max advance is how many chat flips you're willing to do. I'm going to be doing this at minimum of 20, I will say. Then for all of this other stuff here, this is if you want any IVs, shininess, etc., etc. We're going to look for a pretty good Ditto. I'll look for a 31 attack shiny Ditto. But you could select an ability that you want, whatever gender. The gender ratio, Ditto is genderless. I don't want a specific hidden power or nature, but you could specify all of that. As well, a lot of people are going to be asking what is, star, square, etc. for the shiny option. That is Gen 8 stuff. So if you want the Pokemon to have a specific a shiny pattern like a star or a square when you send it to Gen 8, this is what it's for. But I don't care. I'm not sending this to Gen 8. And then we click search. And you should get a bunch of results really, really quickly. I'm going to wait for all of them to flow in. All right, so PokeFinder has finished, and what you can do actually is you can kind of scroll down to see what the best available shiny options are for you. So the lower you are down, the higher all the IVs are going to end up being. Let's see how many advances and stuff. I don't want to do too many advances. 145 is a lot, so we'll make the advances the minimum. 20 advances. Yeah, sure. We'll go for this jolly one right here. So once you find a target that you like, go over to the seed and right-click it, and then click Generate Times for Seed. And then a new window will pop up called Seed to Time. So in this window, there's a few things to note here. It is your seed, and then make sure the game is selected properly. I have Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver. For the year, we'll make it the current year, 2022. Second, you can leave that blank. For the legendary beast, what you're going to do is check how many of the roamers that you've got and go into the Poke Gear and check on them. So we can see that Raikou is on 42. This is important to enter if you have them roaming. Entei is on 29 and Latias is on 21. And then once you do that, click generate and it'll regenerate these results. Then what you're going to do is save the game after you've input where the roamers are. It is very important that once you input where they are in PokeFinder, you save the game. Okay, so once your game is saved, you're going to pick any of these date and times that you are interested in to, get the shiny. We could see, I always like to look for something in June, see if there's anything near my birthday. There's nothing really on my birthday, so we'll just go with any of these random ones. This one seems fine to me. Then you're going to make sure your delay plus and minus is set to 200, and your second plus and minus is set to, I think 5 seconds is a little bit much here. We could do 3 seconds. And then you're going to click generate, and it's going to generate a list of seeds for you with your target one being right here. Okay, with all of that being said, what we're going to do is set our DS to this date and time that we've picked. So make sure you're saved and turn it off. Okay, so I have to do 2022. I have to do 6/22/2022. My date is set. Then I have to do 23 hours and 8 minutes. So we're going to do that and 8 minutes. Then the seconds portion, we're going to enter into Eon Timer. So we're going to go into Eon Timer. The target delay is 1476, as we can see there. So 1476. And target second is 30. Now, if you notice, it says minutes before target equals 1. So what we're going to be doing there is setting it to 23 hours and 7 minutes. And then we're going to start Eon Timer and hit A to confirm our clock at the same time. Now we're going to wait for Eon Timer to count down. And when Eon Timer finishes counting down, we are going to hit A to load the game. So we're just going to wait on this screen, and when Eon Timer finishes counting down, we're going to wait for the game to load. Okay, so our Eon timer is getting close to the end. So as the timer finished, I hit A, and now what you're going to want to do is mesh through the game to get to the title screen as quickly as you can. Okay, and so now that you're at this continue screen, all you're going to do is wait until the Eon timer finishes beeping again, and then once that's done, you're going to hit A to load into the game. And now what you're going to do is open up the start menu as fast as possible and go into your Poke Gear and go over to the phone. And we're going to call Juggler Irwin. And so before we call him, we're going to open up in Seed to Time the search calls button. So we're going to hit that, and a new window is going to pop up. That looks like this, and it is going to tell you exactly what the phone calls are from Irwin or Elm, but we use Irwin. Elm is stupid to use. Okay, so we're gonna hit call. How are you? What are you doing? So that is P, and we're gonna just keep doing this until we finish it out. So it tells you like what Irwin is gonna say here. How are you? So that's P again. Hearing about your escapades rocks my world. We're going to click that one. That's E. How are you? That's P again. And each one of these calls is doing an RNG advancement as well. Hearing about your escapade rocks my world. That's E. So we've done 5 frame advancements so far. How are you? That's P again. Oh my gosh. This guy is this guy's very interested in what we were doing. Like I've never seen this many P's in my life. My lord, this is madness to me. Actually, very rarely do you see something like this. Hearing about your escapades rocks my world. E. All right. And as you can see, the possible results has narrowed down drastically. How, oh my gosh, P again. All right, we've got a result and we can click OK. So let's take a look at what we hit. It looks like we hit 1478, but we were early on our seconds, which is crazy. That's very rare for that to happen. We can confirm this by checking what routes the roamers are on. So we should double check versus that. Both of them are supposed to be on Route 45. It looks like they are. I don't see Entei anywhere else. And then it looks like Latias is on 24, which is what she's supposed to be. So we hit 1478 and we were 1 second early. Now, being a second early is kind of rare. I'm not going to adjust anything for that. You can adjust for that by like making your target. Like if I repeatedly hit 29 seconds, I could make my target second to 31 because, you know, I'm constantly hitting early, but I'm not going to do that. But what I will do in the delay hit section is type that I hit 1478 and hit update. Now, if I had hit, let's say 1477, there's an issue there. Because you can only hit even delays if you hit an even delay, and you can only hit odd delays if you hit an odd delay. So if I had hit 1477, but I was aiming for 1476, what would I do? Well, it's really simple. You would just change the year. So if I change this to 2021 and I hit generate, the delay changes to an odd delay. And that's all you have to do. You just have to change your target year. Really, really simple. So with that new update though, it changed my calibrated delay by 1. We're just going to give it another go. All we have to do is try again. So we'll reset the seconds and stuff like that. So we were doing 7 seconds and we just tried again. Or 7 minutes rather. And we just give it another go. All right, so I hit A there, and now we just have to mesh as hard as possible to get through the intro in time. And we just wait on the screen until Eon Timer finishes counting down. Okay. And we're going to bring up the start menu and check the Poke Gear by calling our good friend Juggler Irwin. All right, we're going to do search calls again. And actually, what we can also do really quickly, because we're aiming for this one, generate. We can take a look at something here. If you notice something, you can kind of use the roamers to verify where you're at. So 45 and 24 probably. We are at the very least on 1478 as our delay again. Our seconds could be early again, but we should check with the phone. I'm going to be checking with Irwin. So search calls. It's K. P. P. And you can even tell that we are pretty much there. It's going to be K as the next one. I'm so glad you called. Yeah. And so the reason I can tell you that it's K is the next one is because if you cancel this here and you take a look at what 1478 is, it's K, P, P, K, E, E. Like our next call is going to be E, which is the other one that we haven't gotten yet. Hearing about your escapade, yeah, it's going to be a bunch of E's. So we know that we hit this one, so we just have to give it another try. I'm going to edit Eon Timer again to say that we hit 1478. Because clearly my first adjustment was not enough. So we're going to just try it again. Okay. And now we just wait. All right, and hopefully that we have hit the proper delay. All right, so we can check with the roamers first of all. 34 is for Raikou and 32 is for Entei. Let's see where those are supposed to be. So on our target one, Raikou's 31. So it looks like we hit 1474. So we were one early this time, which is not a big deal. And we just have to rip it again. And we start. All right, and we're just going to mash through the intro again just to make sure. Like I said, it's a pretty simple procedure to do this type of RNG when you get down to it. But all I have to say is that I'm just trying to go through this part as quickly as possible, and so we can land at this screen, because the more leeway that you have here, the easier the minute is going to be, right? The shorter time that you have to get through that, the more difficult it's going to be. But so I like to just mash as fast as possible, not mess with that kind of thing at all. All right, and we check the Poke Gear again. We are one early again. We can tell again just from where our roamers are. My roamers say that on 1474 that they will be on 34 and 32 for Raikou and Entei respectively. So we just have to try again. It's probably not worth. I'm gonna adjust anyway, but we'll see. When you're so close so frequently, it often isn't worth adjusting in the way that I'm doing. But I find that when I hit something more than 2 times in a row, it's typically worth for me to adjust. So we'll just give it another go. 2307, and we start. And now we just have to wait for Eon Timer to finish counting down. Okay, our countdown reaches near 0. And we mash. We mash away. All right, so as our counter reaches 0, we're just going to prepare to try and load into the game. Bring up the start menu as fast as possible. All right, this is a route configuration that I do not recognize. So we're going to go over to seed to time and see if it's our correct one. So 1476 is supposed to be Raikou on 31, which he is, and Entei on 38, which he is. And then Latias should be on 22, which she is. Okay, so now what we can do is we could confirm this using our... We could confirm this using, Irwin to see if we actually hit the proper target or not. And I think I will do that. So let's do a search call and call Irwin. Call our good buddy. Okay, so we're going to call him, and he should give us an E first, which is hearing about your escapades rocks my world. Excellent. And he should give us a K next. So glad you called. Yep. And we're just going to keep calling him until he 100% confirms what we're looking for. He's going to give us a P. E should be next. And you could tell, again, PokeFinder will show this info everywhere. Hear about your escapades. You could see even in, even in seed to time, it's showing you where it's supposed to be, right? If you look above right there at the top, EKPE, it's going to be another P again, right? And then it's going to be KP. And, you can have a very good guess that you're on the proper seed, but I think a lot of the times it's typically worth it to properly do this input here. Or you, P, because then you can be 100% certain that you are on the correct seed, right? You don't want to be 90% sure and then mess up and, stuff like that. It's just often not worth it, I find. Hearing about your escapades rocks my world. We're getting very close, and we're going to make sure to keep track of how many advances we've done. I'm so glad you called this K. So we've got one left, and let's see how many we've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've done 10 calls, and then we're going to hit OK, and it's going to tell us we've done everything proper. So now what we're going to do is copy this seed. So right-click, copy, and then we're going to close seed to time, and we're going to go back to Gen 4 wild. But instead of being in the searcher, we're going to go over to generator. And we're going to make sure to set everything else up. So we're on Route 47. Let's get all the way through Route 47. All right, and then we're going to paste our seed down here. We're going to leave the Pokemon section unchecked. Lead, we're going to make sure is set to none. And then what we're going to do is click generate. And you're going to get a bunch of information here, but what you're most interested in is the chat-out pitch here, right? So we have done about 10 advances. In addition to that, the roamers advance 3. So, 1, 2, 3. So we're probably on 13. And what we're going to do is use chat-out to verify what current frame we're on. So we're going to go over to our Pokemon menu. And we're going to view chat-out summary. And the way these are labeled in the chat-out section here is the M stands for medium, H stands for high, and L stands for low. Then the number is just so you can understand how low it is. You can see here that this 18 is a L1. So that means L1, which means it's the lowest possible low that you could get. And we're thinking we're on 13 or 14 or something like that. These MLs, those are medium lows, medium highs. That means they're not quite the highest high and not quite the lowest low. And so we're going to take a look at those. And we're going to listen to see what chat-out sounds like. That was pretty high. That was even higher. We should go down again. Could be this one. We're looking for, highs and lows. It's difficult to identify where we're at. It's like a medium? I'm not sure where we are. Could be a little bit earlier. It could be like around here. Oh, that was this. That was the lowest low for sure. That was a medium high. So we're on 19. If you recall, our shiny was on frame 20. So what we're going to do is stop one frame before. It can be really difficult to tell what your, target is. I must have been like here and then went up and then went down and then stuff like that. But we want to stop one frame before and then use Sweet Scent. And if you've done everything right, you'll get a shiny. There it is. Simple as that. And so that is the magic of using the chat-out pitches to identify both, that's the magic of using the chat-out pitches to identify where we were. You could even tell it was kind of difficult for me to hear the chat-out pitches, but the second I heard that low and I knew it was the lowest low, I was able to tell, right? And we'll just catch this Ditto and look at its stats to verify what is going on with the Ditto's nature and stuff. You'll see it's probably a jolly nature, as anticipated. And if we went to the judge, he would tell us that it had a perfect attack stat. I hope this was helpful for you guys. This was just a basic Gen 4 wild RNG manipulation. If this was helpful, please let me know and leave a comment down below. Otherwise, I will see you guys next video. I'll probably have another similar video for Pearl version and your Diamond, Pearl, Platinum versions, and I will have similar videos for perfect legendaries or something like that, right? All right, thank you very much. I'll see you later.